There's this image we all have in our heads of an oil slick floating on water. The domain of slick black ooze, a nightmare for coastal communities. But what if that nightmare could be cleaned up by something magical, something like tiny forest witches? Well, it turns out there's a type of fungus that can not only survive in oil, but actually thrive in it, consuming hydrocarbons as easily as you or I might consume, say, a nice ripe steak. And it turns out that these fungi can help break down other kinds of nasty environmental pollutants, too. So how do these fungi work? What are they eating exactly? And could they save us from the messes we humans make? Short answer, yes, and maybe. First, let's look at the chemistry of oil and other nasty environmental pollutants. Oil is made up of long chains of hydrocarbons, molecules consisting of hydrogen and carbon atoms. These hydrocarbon chains are nonpolar, which means they don't mix with water. Instead, they form their own kind of sludge, a hydrophobic or water-fearing glob. Other environmental pollutants like polychlorinated biphenyls or PCBs also have long hydrocarbon chains. That makes them just as nonpolar and just as hard to break down. Now, these hydrocarbon chains aren't doing anything to help the environment, but they are chemically very stable. They're not easily broken apart by heat, light, or most chemicals. In fact, they're so stable that they often persist in the environment for years, even decades. But here's where our story takes a turn. Some types of fungi have enzymes capable of breaking those hydrocarbon chains into smaller, less harmful molecules. Those enzymes are called licases. Case is a broad term for a group of oxidases, proteins that facilitate the transfer of electrons from one molecule to another. When licases come into contact with a hydrocarbon chain, they kick off a series of oxidation reactions. First, the hydrocarbon is oxidized. Then the electrons are shuttled along a chain of molecules until they react with oxygen, reducing it to water. All this electron shuffling breaks the bonds holding the hydrocarbon chain together, and voila! You've gone from nasty pollutant to carbon dioxide and water. Now, the exact sequence of reactions varies depending on the type of licase and the specific pollutant it's dealing with. For example, certain licases will first chop the hydrocarbon chain in half before continuing with the rest of the process. Other licases require help from accessory proteins. But in the end, all these different pathways lead to the same thing: the breakdown of pollutants that would otherwise persist in the environment for a very long time. But why do these fungi want to break down these pollutants in the first place? Why would any organism want to eat seemingly indigestible sludge? It turns out that some fungi can actually use certain hydrocarbons as an energy source. When those hydrocarbons get oxidized, they become more like other molecules the fungi can normally metabolize. Other fungi don't actually eat the hydrocarbons, but they do secrete the enzymes necessary to break them down. In the process, they create intermediate compounds that other organisms, including bacteria, can metabolize. So while they may not be getting a direct nutritional benefit, they are still contributing to the cleanup effort. So this whole process of using fungi to clean up environmental pollutants is called mycoremediation. Mycoremediation projects have been springing up all over the world. For example, in 2014, researchers in India reported using a particular strain of Aspergillus niger to break down 95% of polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or PAHs, in a simulated jet fuel spill. In the United States, a company called Green Remediation LLC has developed a system that uses white rot fungi to degrade a variety of pollutants, including PCBs. Their system works by growing the fungi in a nutrient-rich broth. Then, once the fungi are happy and healthy, they're exposed to the pollutants. After a few days of vigorous growth, the fungi consume the pollutants, and the now clean water is sent back out into the environment. Fungi like these are being studied for their potential to clean up all sorts of messes we humans have made. For example, one recent study found that certain fungi are capable of breaking down microplastics, which are a major pollutant in our oceans. Microplastics are pieces of plastic less than a sesame seed in diameter, that come from larger pieces of plastic that have degraded over time. Most of these particles are in the water, but about 12% of them have been found in fish tissue. No one's entirely sure how dangerous microplastics are to wildlife and to us, but we do know they're extremely persistent in the environment. They don't degrade under most conditions, and they're extremely hard to get rid of. But certain fungi seem up to the task. In that same study, the team found that the fungi were able to degrade 43% of the microplastics in seawater over the course of 2 weeks. Of course, this isn't a one-stop shop for all of our environmental woes. Mycoremediation isn't going to single-handedly save the environment, but it could be part of a larger sustainable solution. Mycoremediation is an exciting new development in the field of bioremediation, which is the use of living organisms like bacteria, fungi, and plants to clean up environmental pollutants, compared to more traditional methods of cleaning up oil spills and other disasters. Mycoremediation is cheap, effective, and green, and it can be used to treat sites that are inaccessible to humans and machines, like porous subsurface soil or groundwater. Plus, it's faster than many other bioremediation techniques because it doesn't rely on microorganisms that grow slowly. Fungi can grow fast. They can double their biomass in less than a day. It may not be long before we see more projects using these super fungi. At least 3 countries, Canada, France, and the UK, are looking into using fungi to clean up oil spills. Hopefully, soon they'll be deployed to clean up more than oil. Fungi may be small, but thanks to their potent enzymes, they're mighty, powerful allies in the fight for a cleaner planet. Thank you for watching this video, and see you soon.